you want to know how to build horseshoe triceps, stay tuned to this video. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. When talking about growing your triceps, we want to talk about working 4 different angles. Instead of working just 4 or 5 different versions of a push down, we want to attack it from all different angles. But speaking of push downs, that's angle number 1 is elbows by your side. So I'm going to show you 2 of my favorites here. The first being just good old rope press. I want my elbows by my side. I'm going to push, separate my hands. So I'm here, my elbows are tucked, push and separate. Hands on my pie, push and separate. So this is one of my first favorite versions of elbows by your side. Next up for elbows by your side angle is the V-bar push down. So on this one, it's a little different than the rope. I like to get a good stretch and then push my hands almost to the front of my body. So my elbows are still on my side, but I push them to the front. So it's a little different than the rope, but I do alternate them week to week on which one I'm doing. So this is angle number 1, elbows by your side. The next angle I'm working every week is bent over, elbows parallel to the floor. So the old school way of doing this, which I'm sure you people are doing, is grabbing that dumbbell and kicking back. But I've seen way too many people butcher that exercise, grab too heavy a weight and not do it correctly. So the first version I like here for this angle is the double arm bent over kickback. So again, I'm parallel to the floor, I'm bent over, elbows parallel to the floor, and kicking back, squeezing, kicking back and squeezing. So this is the first version I like here for this angle, the cable version. And my next favorite is the one up next. My next favorite for this angle is the dumbbell version. So you see I got my chest supported. I'm still the same angle I was over there, but this is a lot better version if you've got lower back problems and you want that chest supported. Again, you're gonna have to go lighter weight on these, but the main part is you wanna get a good contraction. So I'm just kicking back, elbows parallel to the floor, kicking back. So that's angle number 2. Angle number 3 we want to hit every week. One of my absolute favorites is leaning elbows even with your head angle. So what I mean by that is I'm leaning, elbows even with my head, I'm getting a good stretch on this rope, extending forward. So you want to get a good stretch every time, push forward, good stretch. And my elbows always stay even with my head. Even though my hands come back far, my elbows are even with my head. So this is angle number 3. This is my first absolute favorite version. I'm going to pick every week almost. But if you don't like this version, I'm going to give you another option right here. Then my next favorite version of this angle, elbows even with your head, is going to be the dumbbell incline skull crusher. So you can see I'm kind of letting those dumbbells travel toward my shoulders here and then driving up. So my elbows are a little less even with my head, but still the same angle as that rope. So this is my second favorite version of this exercise. I will rotate these in every couple of weeks when we're not doing that rope overhead. So this is angle number 3, elbows even with your head. So if you're liking what you see so far, subscribe to the channel. I have tons of videos in my library on how to problem solve building biceps, back, chest, pretty much every body part. So if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. Angle number 4, we're going to talk about pushing weight to the ceiling or elbows pointing to the ceiling. So my favorite version here is a rope overhead, elbows pointing to the ceiling. So automatically you're going to look at this one and think it's the exact same thing as what we just did before this, which is leaning forward, elbows even with the head. But when you have your elbows pointing to the ceiling like this, gravity is just going to pull your triceps into a much deeper stretch. So I like this one to end a lot of my tricep workouts. And I do think it's important to hit both this and the leaning forward version in the same workout. They just hit your triceps in a different kind of way. So this is my favorite version, my second favorite, and I'm gonna show you next. So while my elbows are feeling good and I'm feeling strong, I will work in this dumbbell version of this elbows pointing to this ceiling angle. The important thing to remember here is don't go super heavy on this. A lot of guys tend to let their ego take over and go heavy on this. I found out in my younger days the hard way that the heavier you go on this, the more it's gonna just crush your elbow joint. So you gotta be careful with the weight you pick here and just focus on getting a deep stretch and pause in that hole. Deep stretch, pause in that hole. So this is my other favorite version of the elbows pointing to the ceiling. Last up, the last angle we want to talk about is elbows traveling behind your body, or the pressing angle. So this is generally reserved for like a compound movement. One of them being my favorite, the seated dip machine. So the key here is to let those elbows travel behind your body and then push down. So letting it hit those triceps more than your chest. So my elbows are traveling back behind my body. I'm getting a good stretch on my tris, driving down. The elbows come behind body, pushing down, behind body, driving down. So again, this is absolutely something I'm working in every week. If I'm not doing this one, I'm doing the next version I'm showing you after this. If I'm not doing the seated dip, I'm doing this version of my elbows behind body, which I just started working back into my routine a couple months ago, and I'm absolutely loving it. So before I say this, if you watch any of my other videos, you know I really hate bench press for your chest, but if you do this close grip bench press correctly and safely, it can really hit your triceps hard. So the first key is we want to, just like the name says, the close grip. So I'm really going about just outside my chest here. I'm letting those elbows come down just about 90, elbows behind my body, and then I'm pushing up. So here, I'm pushing up. So I'm keeping it where it's not putting a lot of strain on my shoulders like that would be doing on a regular bench press. So I want to come elbows tucked, about halfway down, drive it up. That keeps all the tension on those tris. Again, I'm either doing this one or that seated dip machine for my fifth and final angle for triceps. All right, bonus tip for you guys to really get those triceps to grow, pick one of each of these exercises every week, one of these angles every week, and work at one arm individually. So each of these exercises or angles, you can definitely target one arm, and I feel it's good to separate your arms to make the weaker arm. You're always gonna have a weaker arm. Make that weaker arm work on its own. There you have it, guys. That's how you grow your triceps. So for your next 2 or 3 months worth of tricep workouts, do this. Pick one exercise from each of those angles, pick one of those angles every workout to do one arm, and then try to hit about 10 to 15 reps per exercise, taking 1 set per exercise to failure. So follow those simple guidelines, and I promise you, you'll have horseshoe triceps in 3 months. If you like this video, guys, subscribe to the channel. As always, stay swole.